Okay, let's go through these Year 8 Unit 5 practice questions. First question, we've got Lara, she's mixing all of these different drinks together and we're looking at the ratios of these different amounts. So for A here, we've got lemonade, the ratio of lemonade to ice cubes, L to I, and the amount of lemonade we have here is 5 litres. The amount of ice cubes we have is 4 litres, so the ratio is 5 to 4. That's in simplest form. There's not a common factor that we can divide both of them by, so that is the end of that question. For B, we're looking for Coke to soda water. Now you'll notice here there's 3 litres of Coke Zero and 1 litre of Diet Coke. So the amount of Coke in total is going to be 3 plus 1 for 4 litres. We've also got here the soda water. Soda water is 8 litres. So if we look at Coke, the ratio of Coke to soda water, we're going to have 3 plus 1 litres there to 8 litres. So that's 4 to 8. Now if I divide both sides by 4, there's a common factor of 4 between them. I get 1 to 2, and that's in simplest form. Question 2, we're looking at calculating following ratios in simplest form. So A, we've got 40 cents to $2 here. Now, if I put it all in cents, I'll get 40 cents to 200 cents, because $2 is 200 cents, multiply by 100 to get that. Then I can simplify both of these now because they're in the same ratio. Now, easy to divide by 10, that's the same as taking a 0 off either of them, so I've divided both sides by 10. And then I can see I've got 4 and 20 and they've got a common factor of 4. So if I divide both by 40, so divide 40 by 40 and I get 1, divide 200 by 40 and I get 5. And that's our answer there in simplest form. B, this one's a little bit trickier, 2/3 to 4/5. Now there's 2 different ways I can do this. I can do it in multiple steps to make sure that I remove the 3 from the denominator on the left-hand side and then another step to do the 5. Or I can recognise that 3 and 5 have a common multiple, the lowest common multiple of 15, and multiply both of them by both sides by 15 times by 15. If I chuck that into my calculator, I get that 2/3 times 15 is going to be 10, and 4/5 times 15 is going to be 12. Now that's not in simplest form yet. Okay, I've got 10 to 12, where there's a common factor of 2, so I can divide both sides by 2, and I get 5 to 6, and that is in simplest form. Question 3, I'm asked to share 45 jelly beans into the ratio of 3 to 2. So my first statement I need to make is that 45 jelly beans, JBs, is 5 parts. Because there's 3 parts plus the 2 parts, that's 5 parts in total. So if I divide both parts of this rate by 5, or this ratio by 5, I get that 9 jelly beans is 1 part. Now I know that I need to have my ratio in 3 to 2. So ratio of 3 parts. 3 to 2 is going to be equal to 3 times 9 jelly beans to 2 times 9 jelly beans. So that's going to be 3 times 9 is 27, 2 times 9 is 18. So that's going to be, so we can have a final statement and say, therefore, 45 jelly beans shared in our ratio of 3 to 2 is 27 jelly beans to 18 jelly beans. So looking at this question, we've got 2 people competing in a race and they've got done 36 kilometres in 2 hours. Calculate the average speed in metres per second. So they've done 36 kilometres in 2 hours, and we need to get the answer in metres per second. So let's convert this to metres. 36 kilometres times 1,000, 36,000 metres. 2 hours in seconds is 2 times 60 times 60, because we do 2 times 60 to get it in minutes, and then multiply by 60 again to get it in seconds. So that gives 7,200 seconds. Then if we divide both sides by 7,200, we get in 1 second, which is per second, each second. So dividing this side, we get 5 meters in 1 second. So we can say, therefore, the speed is 5 meters per second. Question 5, we've got 3 bottles of Coke with 45 teaspoons of sugar. So that's 3 bottles have 45 teaspoons of sugar. So if I divide both sides by 3, I get 1 bottle has 15 teaspoons of sugar, and then I want to get 150 teaspoons. To go from 15 to 150, I need to multiply by 10. So I get 10 bottles have 150 teaspoons of sugar. So we've answered the question there. All right, engineer's drawing of an aircraft is drawn at a scale of 1 to 250. So that means our scale factor is equal to 250. We need to calculate the scaled length of the aircraft if it is 22.5 meters long in real life. So that means we need to take to get the scaled length, we get the actual length divided by the scale factor. So the actual length is 22.5 meters, divide by the scale factor 250, and we get that the scaled length, is 0.09 meters. Should probably convert it to centimeters, because 0.09 meters is a bit not a thing. So we can divide it by 100 to get it in centimeters. Margaret purchases a 3-bedroom house for this amount and sells it a year later for that amount. Calculate the percentage profit. So let's work out the actual profit first. So the actual profit is going to be the difference between the two values, 462,000 minus 385,000. So we get that the actual profit is $77,000. $77,000. So the percentage profit is going to be equal to the profit divided by the original, then multiplying by 100 to get it as a percentage. So the actual profit is 77,000. The original price is 385,000. Multiply that by 100% and we get that the percentage profit is 20%. Question 8, we've got someone buying a copy of Michael Jackson's Thriller album. She originally pays $6 but will get a 450% profit. So we need to calculate the selling price of the album. Let's work out the profit first. So how much money she makes. The profit is going to be 450% of that original amount of $6. So that is going to be $27. She receives $27 profit. So that means her selling price is going to be that original amount, is going to be that $6 plus the $27. $33 is how much she will expect for the selling price of the album. We've got 3 people going to lunch. Everyone has the same special, so it's got a main course and a drink. Joan also has a dessert. Total bill is $105. Propose a ratio. So there are many different answers to this one, but you need to be able to give reasons, explain your reasoning. So I might say $5 is an easy way to split things up. People have $5 notes, so I'm going to do it in terms of 5. So I'm going to say $105 each part will be $5 in my ratio. That'll just be a jumping off point because then I can do multiples of $5 easy. So then we can say there are 21 parts in total, because 21 times by 5 is $105. Now, if I divide that evenly amongst them, so evenly, and I've got Glenda, Joan, and Petra, evenly, 21 parts in total, that's 7 parts each. 7, 7, 7, that's 21. But Joan also had a dessert. So let's say that Glenda and Petra, they give one of their parts each to Joan to pay for her dessert. That would mean that we get a ratio of 6 for Glenda and Petra and 9 for Joan. So that means 6 plus 9 plus 6, that's the 21 parts in total. Yep, all good. So each of Joan and Petra have given one part to, each of Glenda and Petra have given one part each to Joan. So it means that we can say we have shared it evenly. We've also, if we have a look at simplifying this ratio, we get 2 to 3 to 2. And that kind of makes sense because the main course and the drink, and then Joan, we're giving an extra part too because she has a dessert as well. So Joan's paying an extra part. This might not be exactly even because a drink and main course probably not worth the same, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, let's just, for simplicity's sake, look at this. So I think this is the ratio that we can give it, and it will distribute very evenly. So for part B, it says use your ratio to calculate how much each person pays. Now I know for my ratio G to J to P that each of these parts, 6 to 9 to 6, is worth $5. So I can do 6 times 5, 9 times 5, and 6 times 5. And I get 30, 45, 30. And I can say, therefore, Glenda and Petra pay $30 and Joan pays 45. And if you think about it, this makes sense. $15 for a dessert, that sounds about right. You know, if it's a nice piece of cake or something with fancy cream and stuff. Okay. Martha's favourite clothing shop is offering to buy two get third half price offer on t-shirts, and there's a different offer at the one next door. We need to determine which is the cheapest place. So let's look at the first one, store A. They have buy two get the third half price. So that means 2 full price, 1 half price. That's 2.5 times the price of 3 shirts, because we're looking for buying 3 shirts. So this price total will be 2.5 multiplied by the 19.95. So 2.5 times 19.95 is going to be 49.88. We need to round up to the nearest cent. So that's going to be the total cost for store A. Store B, however, is 20% off. So that means 20% off all of them. So if the total will be equal to 3 times the full price shirts, and then we're taking 20% off. So that means it's going to be 80% of, so multiply by 80% this amount. So if I do that in my calculator, I get $47.88. So we can say, it says which is cheaper and how much is it cheaper. So if we can find the difference, is 49.88 minus 47.88. We get that the difference is $2. So we can say, therefore, store B is cheapest by $2 for 3 shirts. Last question. Usain Bolt can do 100 metres in 9.58 seconds. A Year 12 student claims he can run 6 kilometres in 10 minutes. Let's analyse the student's claim. So let's look at his 6 kilometres in 10 minutes. Let's see how fast he is compared to Usain Bolt. So let's get to the 100 meters. So 6 kilometers, that's 6,000 meters, and that takes him 600 seconds, because we can look at the time in meters, the distance in meters and the time in seconds. So 600 seconds. If I divide both of these by 60, I'll get how fast he can run 100 meters. 100 meters in 10 seconds. Not as fast as Usain Bolt, but only 0.4 seconds faster. So only 0.4 seconds faster than Usain. That means that he's almost a world record holder over 100 meters, and he can keep it up for 10 minutes. He can do it over 6 kilometers. I think that kind of indicates that he might be lying, okay? So therefore, as the distance is much further, the student is probably not telling the truth.